following right now? Because we get mainly the people that did the program, the 14 or 13 people that we had. Okay, good morning. We're going to be doing the Tai Chi Paradigm for Parkinson's. So a lot of you, or if there's any new people that have tuned in, you may have questions. What is the Tai Chi Paradigm? Well, the Tai Chi Paradigm is a training method that I've been teaching for a couple of decades, but actually formalizing the name in the last 5 or 10 years. It's a training method, and I initially introduced it as a Tai Chi format for prevention of age-related degeneration. So what is age-related degeneration? For the average person, age-related degeneration has to do with loss of balance, loss of coordination. Everyone knows as you age, you become not as sharp with a lot of different things. So, prevention of age-related degeneration is part of the process of aging, but at the same time, how do we try to kind of prevent that? So one of the things is building coordination. So when you start to lose your balance, or you don't have ability to walk and so forth, or you're not as coordinated, you have to do an exercise or work toward it. So the warm-ups that we do actually help support a lot of improved movement, trying to build relationships in the body where the right and left work together, where the legs and the hands kind of get coordinated. It's just like, so when we do all these exercises, what's happening is you're working different ideas and concepts of how to get your body to be more coordinated is one thing, more agile in your footwork, and better control of your balance. Because balance becomes an issue mainly because we start to lose sort of the sensory system that controls all of that. And it's not that it's gone. What it is we don't practice it, so we become kind of dysfunctional in that way. And then the other thing is that when you start to feel like that, you lose your confidence. And you lose your confidence, it becomes to affect a lot of things. So when I started first teaching people with Parkinson's, the most important thing is how to improve your balance and improve some of the characteristics that that happen as you get diagnosed. So one of the things is rigidity, walking, and turning corners. So I've taken the Tai Chi Paradigm exercises and then worked the whole body to improve circulation, because we need good circulation. Doesn't matter at what age it is, you need to improve your circulation and maintain it. Now, balance, control, and agility of footwork is developed over time through certain drills. So Tai Chi is a great form of exercise to improve your balance, sensitivity, and awareness, because we talk about awareness and mind-body exercise in many, many disciplines, but how can you do it without stressing out the body too much by doing too much of a physical exercise? Because not only when you age does your body not heal as well, if you do exercises that are too strenuous for your body, and you like overly stretching or overly working the muscle groups, your body will actually go through a little bit of a breakdown, and then it has to heal and goes through that, and there's soreness. All of these things become counterproductive if you want to do something that happens regularly and often. So the only way to get good at something is to do it often. But if it's so taxing on you physically that you need such a long recovery time, those kind of exercises might not be good for you. So that's why I just want to discuss this, that I call it age-appropriate exercise. So the more gentle the exercise, the more understanding you have about how to do certain things, the more likely you will be to practicing it. So, practicing it, doing it, not just when I have this class, but do it at least every other day. And some of the exercises are so gentle and simple that you can do them every day. Like brushing your teeth or getting up and whatever you do on a daily basis as a routine. So if you do these exercises enough, it becomes a routine. A routine meaning that it's just, if you don't do it during the course of a day, then if you feel like you missed something. So that's what you have to do. And these exercises are so simple. Now, when we stand here and we hold the hands up like this, and we turn 1, 2, 3, all you're doing is turning right to left. You don't have to do 100 of these. You do maybe half a dozen to a dozen. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and stop. Then we go to the side. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and stop. So what we're doing is moving the sides. We move forward because our torso is made up of a lot of bones. That's your skeletal structure. So you have to move your body in order to create action and circulation. You have connective tissue. You have all this stuff that kind of binds your body together to work this. And that's what we're activating and moving to get the body more comfortable in direction. Because if you stress, you're going to have a lot of tension because the body responds in that way. I mean, it's easy to be stiff. It's very hard to be relaxed. So that's just the nature of the beast. When you feel stressed, you feel uptight. So how do you get rid of that? Breathing, moving, all of this takes the stress reflex out of your mind, and it lets your body work a little bit better. So focus on these movements, and then by doing that, you'll take your mind off of what's actually troubling you. So when we lift up like this and we bend over, we're going to stretch the back of the legs a little bit. Then we move to the right, and we move to the left, and we move to center, and we lift up and down. So when we go up, we release and exhale, and you let the muscle kind of yield and go into the direction. Now, you don't force it. You just let the muscle go and then let you go down a little further. Then we turn this way, and then we turn this way. And we turn this way, and we turn this way. And back to center. Inhale and exhale. So we inhale, exhale through the nose. Now, the reason why we don't hold the position because the muscle will tighten. So we just pass through from side to side or go a little beyond by pulsing across, and we move so that the big conflict usually would be tension. If it doesn't let you go, then you reach a blockade, like the muscle is tightening. So you have to get to that point and let it go the other way, go the other way. So just let it alternate. Just balance your movement. Here's a circular movement. So we do this to create a circle because Tai Chi is actually movements in space and it's patterns. The pattern of movement is very, very important because the shape and the size of those movements become relative to your body. So that's something that a lot of people don't pay attention to simply because they don't know enough about body form and posturing. Now let's go the other way. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, center, cross, hold the knees, circular movements. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and stop. Go the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're doing this to activate the lower part of our body because your feet, your ankles, your knees, and your hips are very important in the lower half of your body. In the upper half of your body, it's your shoulder, your elbow, and your wrists. And it's on both sides. So we have 12 major joints in the body, I call them the primary movers, because when we work with our movements in a form, we want to build synchronization and coordination with those parts of the body. I mean, there's a lot more involved in that, but the thing is, those are the ones that are the biggest and the most obvious, okay? Deep breathing is this. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Now we're going to put the hands on the waist, okay? So when we do this, we put the hands on the waist because we don't want them to just become something that you're not conscious of. When your hands are here, you're aware that this is a position, and then we move the head. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Back and forth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Center. Tilt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Center. Down. Circular movements. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Center. Hands up. Fold. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Breathe through your nose. Up on your toes and down. And we're going to do it one more time. Inhale. Exhale. Now we're going to spread the feet. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now the feet are wider than the shoulder width, and we're just going to turn the back, the shoulders. So the obvious thing is you notice the shoulders are turning, but it's really your back. Just keep it relaxed. And center. Okay, next, hands back on the waist. Let's close up the stance, form the 90-degree position. And that's a triangle, 90 degrees, and we're going to square the feet. And we pull it in again, and here we are, 90 degrees. Parallel stance is the square stance, shoulder width. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so that's ball of the foot, heel, ball, heel, ball, heel, ball of the foot to heel. So as simple as this is, it may be a little difficult for some people. It does take a little practice and coordination to see you move your right foot or left foot, depending on which one you move first, and that's all. Back and forth. So that's something you can practice. It doesn't take a whole lot of strength. You just have to get comfortable doing it, and then you build coordination. So the movements that you learn become better over time and more accurate over time and more familiar to you. Now I'm going to turn like this. So all I do is spin out on the ball of the foot. But then I want to sit back and then turn in this direction. So this is called the archer stance or the bow stance, and you go forward and back. Now what you're doing is alternating your knees. Now once you're on the back side, you pivot the front side, and then you square the feet again. Then you do the other side. So you see the knee, this is straight, that's bent. This is bent, that's straight. Bent and straight. So there's a relationship bending and straightening, just alternating. But what happens when you do this is that you change the weight in each leg and how it feels. So if I go like this, I'm pivoting. Now I sit into this and I turn to here. I'm sitting in this leg. I go forward and back, turn, and control that. 1, 2. Now if I bring my hand to vertical like this, and I press forward, and then come back, and I turn back to center, now I'm moving my hands, and I'm going to do vertical to horizontal, and strum the lute. Then we turn to center, then we switch to the other side, and we go forward, and back, turn. Turn to the other side, go to vertical, and to horizontal, and back, and we turn toward, I'm turning toward you. So we have vertical and horizontal, that's my left. I go to the other side, that's right side, horizontal, press, and that's on the right side. So the triangle position is this. When I separate the hands, I have one on each side. Whichever's in front, thumbs up. Palms together. The hand on the inside is the supporting press. And we go to the other side, and thumbs up, and you're like that. So because this is my right, it would be your left if you're looking at me as mirror image, and I turn, look where the hand is, the same side as the right leg. If I turn back to center and I switch hands and I turn, now I'm on the left side. So the left side is this, the right side is this. So not thinking whether it's right or left, think of the forward foot and the upper hand. So it doesn't matter if it's right or left, you're just going to do the same thing on this side. It's the same relationship. That's what the idea of a relationship is. It's this side working together. And sometimes we have, the converse is sort of like the exception to the rule, more or less. So typically, forward position, same side. Forward position, same side. Then there's the exception, which I won't bring up, otherwise you might get confused. Deep breathing, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. So what's all that pivoting for? It's for taking you in a direction. I sometimes refer to it as steering in a direction, like you're driving a car. So your feet are like your tires, and you just get steered into a direction, and then you're going to move in that direction. So that's just a strategy to overcome some of the obstacles of going in a direction that some people might have, because I know I've heard that, or I've been actually at a sort of a conference where someone had brought up that they walk, and then they get to a point and they want to go this way, like maybe, when you could go to a movie theater or something, or even turning down an aisle, getting from here to there becomes a bit of an issue, because it becomes a position where the person gets a little nervous, and there's some anxiety and so forth, and your body starts to tighten. So what you can do is actually pivot. Pivot. So if your feet are together like this, you can pivot. Now if your feet are a little bit wider, then you can kick the heel out like we just did, and then pivot. That's a double pivot. Or if you just want to go off into the corner, so this is probably easier to see in the mirror. I'm going to go into that corner. I could just pivot like this and start walking in that direction. If I want to go here, I just pivot and I start to walk in that direction. If I want to go here 45 degrees, I just pivot and I walk in this direction. Now, the closer your feet are together, the easier it is to pivot. Why is that? Because when our feet are together like this and I want to pivot, the shifting of the weight to distinguish which side I can move first, because you want to lighten this foot in order to pivot. Because if you have all your weight on it, it's impossible to pivot. So what you try to do is get into this habit of knowing to turn in a direction before you take that step. You take a turn, and I'm only turning 45 degrees. Now, if your feet are wider, then you might want to do this and then turn this way, or it's going to be a little bit harder and more challenging unless your feet are together because of the weight distribution. You'd have to bring all the way over here to do that. So that might be too much of a shift. So when you walk, typically you have about maybe 2 inches or 2.5 inches between your feet, and that's really like this. So when you take your step and you want to get to a point and you want to turn, you just moved in the direction that you want to turn to. So directed by turning the foot, and then take your next step like that. So if that's helpful, then that's what you should practice. If you have some control issues that you end up not being able to make a turn without sort of like shuffling your feet, that's not the efficient way to do it, and it's not, probably practical to do that. So you can actually just make one pivot, and it start to take you in a direction, and follow your nose. That's what you do. If you want to go over there, I just follow my nose and head toward the nose. Okay, so that gives you an idea of how to steer you in a direction. Okay, so from there, let's put our hands on the waist and let's free up the torso a little bit. Let's get the shoulders moving. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Okay, good. Hands here, press. And if you look from the side, I press this much and let it go. Press and let it go. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. Just swing the arms. It's only till your arm goes beyond 45 degrees that your muscles here start to kick in to want to lift. So if you're just going this much, like when we're walking, it's really swinging like a pendulum, and it doesn't take much physical effort. You're just going through. So, but you're coordinating with your breath and your movement, so you focus. Exhale, inhale. Okay, great. So now, wrists, right? We did the wrists. So this is circular movements. The working upper body. And actually your feet, if you can coordinate the knees, you have a little up and down movement. And center. Now we're going to go the other way. Okay, good. Now here's the big circles. 1, 2, 3. So relax the shoulders. Go as high as you can, but don't force it. 1, 2, 3. Is it easier through the mirror? We're going to go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and stop. Okay, shake that out. Let's go from side to side. So this actually will help you define your supporting leg. If I sway this way, my weight goes here, and this is where my leg goes. So if you're in a wider stance like this, you have to shift your weight to get your foot to here before you take your step. Okay. So we don't do the warm-ups with a narrow stance like this because we're not as stable. So we go to a shoulder width stance. And that gives you the natural support structure. So, and you say, well, why isn't this natural support? Well, it's natural support, but if your hips are way out here and you come to a point, then you're not as stable because of the width. So you find the shoulder width stance or the hip width stance, and you stand, and that is how we do our exercises. Now, when we shift and move to here, that's finding the center, and that's where our support leg is. Okay, so that's finding your center and balancing. Finding your center and balancing. 1, 2. 1, 2. Now let's bring the foot out. Let's bring it back. Bring it out. Shift. And we're here. And back. Okay, now let's bring it a little closer. Now let's swing the arms. Now let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And back to center. Take a step forward. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So if you look at it from the side view, you can see that it's opposite. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 3. So you can see that the relationship is usually the opposite side. Okay, so that gives you an idea. When you walk, that's actually what should happen. Okay. When you go side to side, this helps you control the counterbalancing of emotion. So let's go out and in, out and in, out and in, out and in. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and stop. So that's a little bit, that's 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and stop. Okay, good. So that's counterbalancing, and we're moving the hands and the legs now. So we've been doing upper body, lower body, footwork, a lot of different things. This is integration of upper and lower, the hands moving with the legs. And then we have circles, which is just these circles. Then we have circles like this, and we're going to work on that a little while. So let's go to silk reeling. So we're like this. Then we're like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Now let's smooth it out. Try to follow along the best you can. And let's do the other side. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, good. So that's silk reeling. Let's go to this position, lower hoop and upper hoop. Okay. So that's going through the hoop positions. Okay, let's go to the lower hoop and hold it. So we're just sustaining this position. So it's called standing meditation. Just clear your thoughts, relax the body, hold the position, clear your thoughts. Breathe through your nose. Shoulder height. Elbows down. This is more of a triangle position. The others were hoop positions or circles. Low hoop and palms down. Extend. Deep breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, next, preparation. So that's a circular movement. This is the opening movement to the form, actually. Okay, now we're going to go to the lower hoop and carry tiger to the mountain. So just creating some patterns that eventually will show up into the form that you may be working with when you get to that stage where we're working with really movements from the form, and then we're going to build the postures. And the infinity sign. Okay, now we're going to form the fists and punch. Now this goes together with the infinity sign. And then the punch. Infinity sign, the figure eight on its side, and the punch. Okay, next we're going to do strum the lute, bring the palms together, and circular movements. Okay, center, thumbs up, flip the hands. Switch. Extend, turn, draw the bow. Okay, let's go through fan through the back. So it's cross the hands, lift, cross the hands, lift, cross the hands, lift, cross the hands, lift. So this, actually, sorry, this should be on this side, and then this one's on top on this side. Okay, feet together. Let's go up and down. 1, 2, raising the hand up, going up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Okay, great. Deep breathing. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So anyways, we're going to go through more of the more, no one's here. I don't know why I'm wearing a mask. So I think I'll just take this off for a second. So we're going to go through some of the postures that we're going to be reviewing. So let's kind of identify some of the positions, right? So this movement is called preparation. Okay, preparation is this movement. When we step up, that's how we pivot the feet in the beginning. Well, when we get to this point, we pivot the foot and step out. This is your left side position. And then here's your leaning position on the left side. So we did some of that when we were doing those turns. So here we're facing the mirror, and then we're going to toe out and step up. Drop your elbow, and we go to the right side and press forward. Okay, and back. So let's try that again. So we have 3 movements there. It's beginning, left, right side, and we're going to go to the right side, and we're going to fill that side with the grass the sparrow's tail. Okay, so we're here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, hold the position, move the feet, move the arm, then we're going to go to the right side. Then we push horizontal, press. Now separate the hands and go toward the back corner to the front corner. So we're here. 1, 2, 3. And we're back. Okay? So let's try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hook your wrists. Let's turn this foot out again, but this time we're going to shift the weight and end up here. Spread the feet. Open up the feet. The toes spread open. Bring this hand across the single whip. Okay? So we try that again. Put this back to the wrist. The wrist open stance. Pivot on the heel. Stroke across that single whip. Palm side goes in. Hook side goes across. Now we shift. The next movement is a diagonal flying. So you're slanting up like this. Now as I bring my weight all the way over, then I move this hand to center, and I bring the other hand up. And I bring the hand out like this. So this is a common position. Now I'm going to bring it to the waist. Find your center, shoulder width, raise the hand, bend from the waist, stork flaps wings, and we're relaxed. Okay, so that's the first section of the form, and we're going to go through that a few times so that you can get more familiar with the sequence. 1, 2, 3, bend. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, sit back, 3, 4. 1, 2, neutral right, grasp the sparrow's toes, 4 movements, that's 1 and 2, 3 and 4. We hook the wrist, single whip, hold the ball, shift the weight, diagonal flying. Shift the weight, get the forward position. Let's relax the arms, and as we move up, we're here. Shoulder width, stork flaps wings. Then we're going to step up again. Brush knee. So what happens with brush knee is this hand turns out, this hand goes in front, so we're like this. Turn, flip the elbows, and there's a brush knee and push. Now let's go to the right side, left side. So 1, toe out. Now we shift the weight and step up. The hands in position, and we push. So this is the next section of the form where we have 3 brush knees. If we practice the 3, then we'll add another one in the beginning and back to neutral. Okay. So if we just did the brush knee right and left side, the hand movements were like this. So that's brush knee. Now let's go into this position with strum the lute. We're going 1, 2, 3. Okay. So that happens when we're in this stance. So back into this stance. 1, 2, 3. Step. Close. Now here's from the exercise, form the fist, step up, punch, infinity sign, 1, 2, punch, cross the arms, leopard and tiger springs to mountain. So we see what we did there? Okay, so brush knee is this. That's the right side. Now let's step up, and here's your left side. Okay, here's your right side. Here's your left side. Okay, good. So there's 2 more postures, right and left side. And then if we stand here and go to neutral, we have strum the lute. Close the door. Okay, we'll try that again. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, let's step up again. 1, 2, 3. Step up to shoulder width. Close the door and relax. Okay, good. Then the next piece is form the fist and so forth. All right, let's do a few deep breaths. So those few pieces that we just went over, is archived. So you can actually tune back in and follow those little sections. I could spend, half an hour just doing the same one over and over again. You follow, but it's not necessary. If you just go back to that video or this video and then try to follow those sections, you can't absorb all of that information in one setting. So you have to do it often, regularly. And my advice to you to learn from video, you have to watch it a lot more. You have to see it happen and then watch it without doing anything several times. That way, you're familiar with it and you're not really taking the guesswork out of it. Then at the same time, you start to mimic the movement and then you do it. And you try to copy it with the video. Then you try not to use the video, do it on your own, and then refer back to the video, and then do it on your own, then refer back to the video, and then do it on your own. And then you do it with the video as you're watching it, saying, okay, so his hand's doing this, and I'm doing this, the hand is doing this, and you do that, and then it works together. So then over time, what will end up happening is that you build your movements and you get familiar with it, and you build off of that. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is the walking material. So when we're here, we always walk right, left, right. We go left, right, left. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we'll go clockwise with the hands. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So it's clockwise forward, counterclockwise backwards. So this just gives you something to practice going forward and backwards, 3 times forward, 3 times backwards, and then alternating your feet so that you can get a sense of coordination. So it's kind of multitasking. Then at the same time, if that's one thing, you can actually practice this, 2, 3, and then go backwards. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. See, it's opposite. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. So if you change directions, let's say with the circles, it's actually in the forward direction, and then you have to go this way. So that's a little trickier. When you do the circles, it actually is much more compatible because the direction will change. So if I go 1, 2, 3, and I step sort of into the corners, then I'm changing directions with my hands moving. So if I go this way, 1, 2, 3, and if I did the opposite, 1, 2, 3, here. 1, 2, 3, here. 1, 2, 3, here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So really it's a diamond. You're walking in a diamond shape, and it's sort of a diamond step. So if I walk there, I could do a triangle. If I step this way, 1, 2, 3, approaching that dot. And if I approach this dot, 1, 2, 3, and I approach this dot, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's just an exercise so you can get more familiar with getting mobile on your feet, changing directions. Walking backwards might be a little challenging. So if that is, then just keep walking forward. 2, 3, turn. 1, 2, 3, pause. 1, 2, 3, pause. Go to the left. 1, 2, 3, pause. Go to the right. 1, 2, 3, pause. Turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to turn this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn this way. 1, 2, 3. So these are all going clockwise, right? Now if I go counterclockwise to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If I go to the right, it's the same direction as the rotation of the hands, this way. Okay, so that gives you a couple of drills that you could practice, and you can get the format basically, and then it can be much more freestyle or random, just moving into squares, going to the right, then moving to the left. So these are all little exercises you can do to try to work on your mobility, work on walking and so forth. And I think we're almost time up. But before I end the class, so we've been showing the Parkinson's live classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 11:15. And so I just wanted to bring up that recently with the COVID and so forth, the foundation, actually, we didn't get the grant this year. That was something that we got last year. This year, we didn't get the grant, so that was something that it's a little bit disappointing. But so we don't have that funding to help support some of the infrastructure that I have here in order to do the streaming and so forth. So we've come up with a new program to supplement the streaming. It's still using YouTube, but it's called Patreon. So if you go to our website, there's a little link that you can click on, and it's called the Patreon, 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 and that opens up a page, and it has some tiers. And what that is it's just hoping that people that have been following the videos can give us a bit of support, mainly for the infrastructure and the space, because since the COVID hit, we didn't expect this pandemic to last this long. Nobody knew. It's a time of uncertainty. So the thing is, since March 15th, the enrollment had stopped. So the school was closed over a period of time. We reopened in July. Actually, June 30th, we opened. And unfortunately, when we reopened, the students didn't come back. And originally, this is a brick and mortar school, and a lot of our classes were being run live. So the return has been down by 80%. 75 to 80% of the students haven't returned. So that puts a little bit of burden on supporting this space, which is quite large. I probably have over 6,000 square feet in 2 rooms that we taught numerous classes. We had about 27 classes, including Parkinson's classes that were in here live 3 times a week. But because we don't have that funding and support, and I don't have the students back, it's going to be a challenge to meet the rent and meet the expenses in keeping this operation. The place is air conditioned, we have lights and so forth. So the Patreon is to look for a bit of support to help support the space. And if you're able to, this isn't putting any pressure on it. It's a volunteer thing. It's a membership type thing.
and it starts at $5 and it goes up. And if you're doing the Tai Chi Paradigm for Parkinson's, then I was thinking that it could be maybe $30 a month if you can afford it, and it's, it'll be contribution towards supporting the space, and your generosity would be appreciated. But if it's not in the realm of what you can afford to do, you don't have to worry about it. We'll look for other sources and means to support the space, but I'll continue to do the streaming, and you continue to tune in. And if you gain benefit from this, by all means, continue to do it. Share it with friends. Maybe some of those friends of yours might be able to do something toward the Patreon, and in that way we can keep the space going till things come back. Who knows when that's going to be? But meanwhile, hope everything is going well for you, and continue to follow it and do the best you can with it. If you have any questions, email us. Let us know. If you were one of the brick and mortar students that came here during the phase before the pandemic, let us know if you're following it as helping you, because it's good to know that the people that I taught live are still doing it. It's kind of important to me. So anyways, talk to you later. If you have any questions, just email us, and it's called the Patreon. Subscribe if otherwise. I'll see you next time.